Deadwax. What's up, all you Lindsay Lohan Santa Claus movies, and welcome to the Deadwax Show. Get out of the groove for once in your life and get into the Deadwax. And this Deadwax show we're talking about, it's hosted by Waffles the Stooge. And guess what, everybody? I'm Waffles. And guess who I'm joined with? Stooge! And he's got a green hat.
I almost forgot to put a hat on.
Yeah, man, that was like very unusual.
Who's this guy?
It's just like when we call you by your real name.
With the hair, yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, yeah, so there we go. I'm like, oh, what hat do I have nearby? So
what hat is that?
It's a Cubs hat. It's green. It's like St. Patrick's Day.
You are looking so Christmas. Red shirt, green hat. My gosh.
Oh, yeah. Looking fat and jolly like Mr. Santa Claus.
Mr. Santa Claus himself. That is you.
Yes. Saint Nick.
Amen.
Yes.
Tim Allen.
Santa Claus.
Tim Allen.
Disney. World domination. You're welcome.
Ooh, okay. I'm into that. How are you, Stooge? How's life?
I'm good. And life is, I can't complain. I'm healthy and not destitute yet. So, I if I complain, no one's going to listen. That old, what do you call that?
Sad. An adage?
I don't know, like, just another day or living the dream or, one of those quips that people always say.
That actually translates to, like, I'm dead inside.
Yeah. Like, help me. I want to die.
I read somewhere that, like, if you ask a coworker how they're doing, they say, it's a Monday. That is the biggest cry for help you can imagine on the planet. And it is so true.
What if they say, it's Wednesday, but it's only like Monday? What's that mean?
That means that you need to call somebody. Immediately. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you, good sir?
I'm fine. I have no updates. Life is fine. It's December. I'm still struggling with a cough, and we're like 2 weeks into it. So
2 weeks into your cough, 2 weeks away from Christmas.
That's exactly right. 2 weeks from today is Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy.
We're recording this. Yeah.
Which is crazy. I'm not all caught up yet. I'm not ready.
What do you mean you're not all caught up? You're not ready? You're not ready?
I'm not ready.
You're not ready for that fat man to come sliding down your chimney? And then, Santa Claus will probably come later as well.
Hey! That's funny. Yeah. But yes, I am ready for that. Always ready for that. But no, man,
nice.
This is my worst thing. Maybe it's just like, I feel like this is just such a stereotype. A lot of men struggle to, like, be organized for Christmas, I swear, because I get so behind so fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I freaking love, like, Halloween. I have to get behind for Halloween.
I know. All you gotta do is buy a bag of candy, right?
Literally. Make up a costume in the moment and you're fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway.
There you go.
Let's start talking about depressing things and being behind. And you know what we should talk about, Stooge?
This week's pickups?
This week's pickups, because you got some bomb ones.
I do have some pickups this week. I will let the listeners decide if they're bomb or not. But here we go. First one.
Okay.
We've got Like Clockwork by Queens of the Stone Age.
Ooh.
So I actually own this already. I had it on black vinyl, but because I'm a variant hoe.
He's a variant hoe.
They did re-release this album plus Villains this week on colored vinyl. So
nice.
I picked this up from Grey Whale. And it is a nice solid red. I would show you, but it's got the Obi, and to take this out and to take the record out, it's a whole thing,
It is a thing.
So just imagine that, maybe we could, if we get a CGI budget.
A CGI budget?
Oh, what's in this Yuletide nog here?
Oh yeah, Stooge is getting a little bit crunk off the nog.
Yeah, crunk off that nog.
Crunk off the nog, man.
Well, let's pretend I'm holding a record here. We'll CGI a red one.
Yeah.
Whoa, look how red it is.
Dude, I can't believe it's that saturated.
It's redder than my shirt.
Oh my gosh, it's going into your shirt.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Stooge, what are you doing to that record? This is a children's show.
I just had to see if it could fit.
And it did. You and your 45 nipples.
Yep. Anyways, so yeah, we got that record.
Yeah.
That went great. Then we got I got the Mandalorian Target
Mando
soundtrack because I'm a big Star Wars nerd.
Absolutely.
And this came on everyone's favorite vinyl color, bone white.
Your favorite, yes.
Bone white, which it's like it just pops.
It's
that white,
like stunning,
yeah.
Especially on top of a white acrylic mat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It just pops. That white. Yeah. Then I got this in by Gregory Porter. What's his album called? Still Rising. If you don't know who Gregory Porter is, he's got the most. He's like the next Barry White, but instead of singing about like I'm gonna sex you, baby, he sings like I'm gonna love you tenderly. He's more like PG.
He's more wholesome.
Yeah, more wholesome. Whereas Barry White was like, he's a dirty dog. That Barry White, I love
your
him,
Barry White impression was not bad, by the way.
But Gregory Porter, jeez Louise,
what's in the nog, bro? I'm worried.
I don't know, dude.
Got a problem.
He has got a voice like butter,
and
so I'm here for it.
Buttery smooth. And
then from Rustic Records, these next two are from Rustic Records. I got Fife Dog Forever, his final album. I don't know if Fife Dog passed like over 5 years ago now.
I do not even know who Fife Dog is.
He was a member of A Tribe Called Quest.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, he struggled with health issues, specifically diabetes, his whole life.
That's horrible.
I don't know exactly what killed him though. I'm thinking it's some kind of health complication with that stuff though.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was working on stuff before he passed, and they finally were able to get clearance, get everyone to come together on it, and finally put out this album of his remaining work. And came out earlier this year, and I just got this pressing on orange vinyl from Rustic Records. So
love it, dude.
Yep, Fife Dog, R.I.P. One of the goats of hip hop and the pioneers.
Okay.
And then speaking of another departed hip hop artist who has a huge influence in the hip hop community is this MF Doom, Operation Doomsday. It's the special silver cover. You can't hardly even see what's going on there.
Yeah.
MF Doom passed. It's been like 2 years now. He was young. Like they were both pretty. Like, I think Doom was a lot younger than Fife Dog was.
Really?
But yeah, just sudden passing. That's just so weird. But yeah, another great hip hop album. Once again from Rustic Records.
Oh, love that. Whoa. I would say don't stop. I would stop. Stooge, so you bought those records off Rustic Records, right?
Correct.
How do you do that? How do you buy a record from them?
Oh, it's really easy, my friend. You just got to go to rusticrecordsonline.com, shop through the hundreds of titles and albums that they have available, and add them to your cart. And when you're checking out, if you want to save 5%, I'm not saying you have to, but if you do want to save 5% on your order, you would want to use a discount code Stooge when you're checking out, and you'll save some money there, especially with the holidays.
Yes,
the holidays coming up, you got to penny pinch when you can, and save every penny counts.
Exactly, because that 5% could go into like your Christmas dinner or your holiday dinner, whatever holiday you're celebrating. Use it for dinner.
Yeah, just buy records, and then whatever money you save, you can go, buy a big meal.
Buy a roast beast like the Grinch.
A roast beast. Yeah,
exactly.
Buy some records for all the Who's and a roast beast that you could all share.
Did the Who's down in Whoville listen to the Who?
Of course they did. They are the Who.
What?
Or were they in the Guess Who? I can't remember.
Oh, good question. Guess who never had a movie?
Guess who was the pinball wizard? That's really the Grinch. I bet you didn't know that.
There you go. I didn't know that, but now I know. Yeah.
Yeah. The Grinch is really good at pinball.
Look at this mythology we're creating. Greek mythology, in fact.
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box. You guys know this from last episode. I do not have any pickups because all the records I receive in December are under my Christmas tree. So they will be opened on Christmas.
Doctor Who Christmas
tree. So there are records that came in this week. However, they will be saved for Christmas.
Oh, look at you.
2 of them, I will spoil it all right now. I picked up Undeath's 2 records at their concert last night, where I got this hoodie as well.
Well, why do you have to wrap those? Can't you just listen to those? You didn't get them in the mail. They're like unwrapped, aren't they?
Yeah, but it makes it more special that I keep them all on Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not
whatever makes your holiday special.
Not all the records I get in the mail, all the records I receive. I receive them by buying them. I know.
Well, that's why I'm gonna have to do double duty then to make up for both of us during pickups.
Please do. That'd be great. Yeah. You love duty. Duty means poop.
Yes.
So, Stooge. We're talking about records.
Waffles.
We're talking about music. We're talking about records and we're talking about music. Should
we collect records, yeah.
Should we launch into today's topic?
I mean, we can if you want to.
Or we could just talk about, the weather.
Should we just skip to trivia?
We could just skip this whole episode, honestly. Well, guys, that was it. Thanks for listening. One of these days, we're going to get into a fight while we're recording, and that's what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
By the way, don't move your arm. Your arm is lined up perfectly with where my shoulder is, and it looks like my arm is like protruding into your side of the screen. For those just listening, I am so sorry, I'm having an ADD moment, but like it is lined up perfectly. Anyway, let's talk about today's topic.
Let's do it.
So I thought about this topic because when I was in Atlanta visiting my friends in the Dallas Cowboys, Maddie's boyfriend Steven, who is not in the band, he asked me, Chris, how did you even discover
Maddie's boyfriend's cousin's friend?
Exactly.
Who is not in the band.
Who's not in the band. He said, Chris, how'd you even discover the Dallas Cowboys? And it's been on my mind a lot lately, music discovery. Because in my opinion, as a music fan, no two people have the exact same ways and habits of discovering music. It's a fascinating process, and we all do it. And I want to add to this, that music discovery is like my passion. I think discovering new music is the funnest thing in the world, and I get a legit high off of it. So I do this constantly, and I'm very excited to talk about this because it's super fun.
Yeah, I would disagree a little bit. I think there is overlap in the way that people discover music. There's some common things that people are common practices that lots of people practice.
But you think that there's people that have like the exact same ways of doing it?
Yes.
Okay, I completely disagree. But here we're gonna do this.
Like, do you mean like, let's say you're on Spotify and Spotify recommends something to you? I mean, don't they do that?
I mean,
for
every habit. I mean, every habit. Like, it's
the exact same habit for every. Like, for example, there's A, B, and C, and only like one person does A and B, and this one does C and A. Oh, that means that they're not exactly the same.
Okay, here's my point, Stooge, is that there's hundreds of ways of doing this. There's not just A, B, and C. And so that's like saying if there's A, B, C, D through Z, and then double A, triple A, quadruple A, and then making sure that everybody has the exact same patterns. They don't. Nobody does.
The exact same.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. No two people do this the exact same way.
Do you mean like I look at for new music like in the nude? Is that what you mean? Like,
oh my gosh. I just said it as this little side comment. We can move on from that. Holy hell. This is the fight we get in.
This is it. This is the one.
Congrats, everyone. You're watching the end of the Deadwax show.
We say that every episode.
I know we do. So what I think we could do is just talk about some of the ways that we discover music, and some examples of artists we've discovered through that method, and then go through some of the ways our followers on social media discover music. Your thoughts?
Sounds good. Sounds good. Those are my thoughts.
Heck yeah. Do you want to start us off? Give us our very first method of how you discover music.
I will. Look at this. When I put my face over my iPad, it looks spooky, doesn't it?
Oh, speaking of spooky, have you watched Wednesday on Netflix?
No, not yet. I heard it's pretty good,
10 out of 10 good. I watched it in like 12 hours because it was that good. You are spooky.
I thought it was longer than 12 hours long, though.
It's only 8 hours because there's the 8 episodes. Yeah. I took 4 hours of sleep.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pooping, but...
Can it be the same thing? Can it be the same thing at the same time?
That is some great multitasking.
It really was. Thanks, pal.
All right. Yeah, I've got a list here. Do you want me to just kind of go through one of the ones I have here?
Yeah, go for it. Let's just do back and forth.
So I'm just gonna start with one of the ones I use quite a bit. And it's got sub layers. So let me just start with streaming platforms is what I'll start with. So what I mean by that is, for example, like you got your Spotify, your Pandora, Apple Music, what have you. A lot of these times, like when you go and you search for an artist that you like, if you scroll down to that artist page, I don't know about Spotify for sure, but I know on Apple, like if you scroll down, they'll have similar artists. Or if you like this, then you may like this. And it gives you really great recommendations for similar artists that you can explore. And that's something I've done quite a bit. I know Spotify and I know Apple does this as well. Like let's say, like I like the Black Keys, I can just type in Black Keys playlist and there'll be playlists that people have curated that not just have Black Keys music on it, but also music by other artists who are similar to the Black Keys that will help you also discover new music as well. One thing that I do quite frequently, and it's a way, this is exactly how I found the Front Bottoms, and this is how I found Bros, is every Monday night at like, it used to be 9 p.m. because I was in California, but now it's 10 p.m. I'll go into iTunes, the iTunes store, and I'll see what new drops are. And what I do, and this is why I think album covers are so important, is I'll kind of scroll through the new releases and see if there's anything that just jumps out to me as intriguing. And I can remember sitting in my lounge chair in Vegas one night just scrolling through the new releases and seeing Talon of the Hawk by the Front Bottoms. I'd never heard of them, but I thought the cover was kind of cool with the knife on it, you know? So I just clicked on it and I started sampling. I'm like, oh my gosh, this speaks to me, you know? And and then the rest is history. Like I absolutely fell in love with the Front Bottoms. It was unhealthy. My wife hated it because she hates the Front Bottoms.
I didn't know Jess hates the Front Bottoms.
Oh my gosh, she can't stand Brian's voice.
I'm
That's
ask
the
her
thing.
about that next time I'm over. Yeah,
ask her. So Jess, what do you think about the Front Bottoms? And she'll
I'm so excited.
Her eyes will roll out of her head.
To see her frontal lobe. Yeah.
And then same thing with Bros. Oh, bless you, or God bless you. I don't know, whichever one.
Thanks, pal.
So Bros too, same thing. Volume 2 came out, and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of intriguing. And so once again, checked on it and just started listening to it. I'm like, damn, this is really good. This stuff I really like. So that's what I still do to this day. Like I'll go through, I'll just kind of scroll through the top. It's just the top line with the new releases and see if there's anything intriguing, or two, to see if there's anything by artists I already do like that maybe I didn't know, you know, they were releasing something new. And then, sorry, I'm being so long-winded. I'll hand over to you in just a second. One other thing I did that has to do with streaming per se is podcast. I have specifically listened to podcasts before that dive into like, oh, if you like this band, then they'll provide a couple of different options of similar artists that you can listen to. And there's this one podcast, they stopped doing their podcast years ago, but they did an episode on the Black Keys. I'm like, oh, I love the Black Keys. Let me listen to this and see what else they suggest. And through that episode, I discovered the Black Diamond Heavies, who are kind of like, they're a Southern rock band. The lead singer's voice kind of kills it for me a little bit. He sings like this. We're going to do this down to the moon. He's got like a really raspy. Anyway, so it kind of kills it for me a little bit. The music's great though. But I also discovered another band called Radio Moscow, which I also really enjoy. So, you know, look to, you know, you might have to do a little digging, but look for podcasts by people who, you know, will explore artists for you and see if there's anything in there you might like. So anyways, those are just some of the things. And this is just one of six things I put down. Yeah. So I'll let you start talking a little bit. The
podcast is a great idea. I didn't even think of that. There's a podcast I really like. Get ready. I'm going to reveal a secret about myself. I don't really listen to podcasts, even though we have one. So I'm really hypocritical. So I apologize to anybody that has one. Besides
I was going to say, besides ourselves, that's a good one that you
that's can the only one I listen to. Yeah.
They listen to music. Now, they don't necessarily say, if you like this, listen to this, but they'll play new releases for the week. And you can find some stuff.
They're like the only one I listen to. So I apologize for anybody else. Anyway, podcast is a great idea. I also want to go back to what Stooge said about recommended artists, because that was my first one too. Because that is in the modern day, and I wouldn't even say modern day. I'm like a child of the internet, and so when I was like 12 getting into music, that's how I'd find artists too, is using iTunes and MySpace. They would always have suggested artists, or you can even Google like bands that sound similar to, and you just pick your favorite band, and Google will come up with like 50 answers. So that's a great way to find artists, or even like if you're getting into a new style that you're not super familiar with, or a new genre or whatever, you can just, you know, you get into one band, go straight to the suggested artists. It will give you 15 that will lead you all the directions. So highly recommend. In fact, just barely
go down a deep rabbit hole.
You got in a deep rabbit hole. There's a death metal band I really like called Vomit Forth, and I found them from just recommended artists, and like I'm obsessed. They're great. Highly recommend Vomit Forth, by the way, if you like death metal. Oh, so
are they kind of like Diarrhea Planet?
Sure. Vomit forth in diarrhea planet. In fact, that sentence is so funny. Vomit forth diarrhea planet. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Another one. I don't know if so. Okay. Here's another secret about Chris. They're about waffles. We're throwing out all the secrets. For our podcast, I have Apple Music and Spotify. So I know a little bit about Apple Music because I'm a Spotify listener. I don't know if Apple Music does this, so I'd love to hear your thoughts if they do. Okay. On Spotify, I have discovered that if you're just more into like underground stuff, it's great. I don't know if it does for popular stuff, but you can just type in a genre and it will create a curated playlist for you based on what you've already listened to in that genre and what you might like as well. Does Apple Music do that? I don't know.
I don't know if they'll like curate it to your listening history, but if you just type in like hip hop, there's
there'll be some
hip hop
playlists
that you can choose from. Yeah.
So there's a style I'm obsessed with now called emo violence, and it's great. It is. I would say of anything I listen to, you would hate that more than anything. You would think it was the worst music you've ever heard. Happily,
it sounds like it would be. Yeah.
Emo violence is incredible. It's a mix of emo and power violence. Anyway. And I just typed in emo violence because I'm only familiar with a handful of bands, and so I typed it in, and there was an emo violence playlist that went over a couple of bands I already liked, and then suggested a bunch more bands, and it was like curating based on my listening habits, and I was like, holy bananas, this is a great way to. And so I discovered a band called Crowning that I was like, dear Lord, I would never have found this because they have 800 monthly listeners. They're not like that big, but I wouldn't have found them without the emo violence playlist. So. I'm obsessed now.
You know what the term crowning refers to, right?
Babies coming out of places. Yeah. Absolutely. Or just putting a crown on someone's head.
Oh, sure.
Totally. So anyway, it's always good, like Stooge said, even just with hip hop, just like give a search in Apple Music or streaming or Google, YouTube Music, whatever you want. Like people get a kick off of making playlists, so utilize that. Just like Google or search for the type of music you're into, or even bands that sound like this. There'll be something. Yeah,
just to kind of second that too. Like I said last week, when I was talking about the Bros, I just Googled them and I went to their Wikipedia page. If you have a band that you like, maybe go to their Wikipedia page and see if they have any other similar bands that there are, any side projects.
Yeah, under the associated acts.
Yep. Yeah, because. I think you'd be surprised how many of them do have extra stuff outside of the band that they're known for.
Absolutely.
That you can go and consume as well. So,
because a lot of people's solo projects and side projects are not the same style as what they usually do, so it can lead you all kinds of places.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Look at
that. All right, you want me to go to my next one?
Yes, go for it.
I went ahead here and I put record stores. Go to a record store. There's a couple of things you can do here. One, just kind of browse through. Once again, kind of like what I did with iTunes. Just browse the new arrivals or whatever genre you like. Go to the used section. Even if they just have a generic used section where everything new comes in, you just browse through those. You never know, what you'll find in there. Once again, if you find like an album cover that just kind of intrigues you, and it's, if it's not too expensive in my case, I'd pick something like that up just to see if it's going to be any good. Or sometimes I will sample it on my phone if it's a little more pricey. But you never know what you could find there. And then if you get to know your record store owners and the employees there, you get a feel for their tastes. Then you could ask them for recommendations if you trust their like I said, their opinion and their tastes. So that's another recommendation I have. Absolutely. That's one I haven't utilized a lot, but I know that is definitely available. And I don't think there's ever been a record store owner or employee who's been short on opinions.
Yeah, amen. Amen. It is a qualifier to work at one, right?
Yeah.
So quick tangent about that. When I was 22, I went to when there's a Graywell location in Bountiful, Utah.
Bountiful.
It died. It died sadly. It was my favorite one, and that's one I grew up going to. Anyway, so I went in there and I was really sick of the music I was listening to at the moment, and I said to the employee, his name's Garrett. Garrett does not work at Graywell anymore, sadly, but he was the bomb because I knew he really liked metal, scary death metal. So I said, "Hey, Garrett, I really want to listen to more than Warped Tour metal. Do you have any suggestions? And his eyes like lit up and he was like, I have so many. And
He
so
took you under his wing.
He gave me like 4 bands. He said, go listen to them and then come back and talk to me. And then we'll talk about what albums you should buy by each one. And it was literally like, I think about the story all the time because it was like huge for me. He was like, listen to At the Gates, Arch Enemy, Children of Bodom, and Dark Tranquility and tell me your thoughts. So I went home and I was like, hi, I loved all of that. And it is now my personality. Here we are. But just to like Echo Stooge, record stores are a great way to do it. Maybe I have anxiety. I have a hard time just blind buying without checking on my phone first. Cause I'll like see an album I think is interesting or I've heard it's really cool, but I will still just give a quick listen on my phone. Like be like, is it garbage? And then it turns out to be almost always good. So
yeah, just to kind of piggyback off that.
Yeah, go for it.
When I first started collecting, I did a lot more blind buys. Now that my collection's gotten a little bigger and space isn't like a problem, but it's a growing concern.
Of course.
Yeah. I am a little more selective in what I pick up these days, but yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Another one, this is like pretty obvious, but word of mouth from like your friends or people online, it is humongous. There was one thing that like Stooge said, record store employees are never short on opinions. Same with like music nerds. They're like the quietest one will still be willing to tell you what they're listening to right now and what they love. So you can either reach out to your friends and be like, hey, I need music. Anybody have suggestions? Or what are you guys listening to right now? Or anything like that. It is huge. That'll be a great way to find music. Or even just like be comfortable enough with your friends like Stooge and I to just be like, hey, I like this band. You should listen to them right now. And like quit whatever you're doing and quit your job. Quit talking to your family and listen to this band, and it'll change your life.
I agree with that. That's actually what I have that on my list as well with social media and friends.
We are the same person. Yeah. Maybe okay. I'm retracting my statement. You're right. Lots of people have very identical ways of discovering music. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I take that back.
So like for example, my best buddy growing up, Steve. A lot of my musical interest came from him showing me stuff. I didn't explore music a whole lot. One, because it wasn't a priority, and two, because I came from a very, conservative household.
Yep.
So, like, he's the one that showed me Led Zeppelin. He's the one that showed me Rage Against the Machine. I got other friends. Like, I was living with this guy, like, about a year before I got married, and he was playing this really catchy music one day. I'm like, who is this? He's like, this is Vampire Weekend. You should check them out. And I did, and I absolutely love Vampire Weekend. And
yeah.
My brother had a huge. He's huge into music, even more than I am. He's been collecting records for probably over 10 years.
Wow.
So I might have a bigger collection now because I'm obsessive compulsive. But he's been collecting records for a long time. He's the one that introduced me to people like Tool. I remember one time he was listening to something in the bathroom. It was nice and heavy, but it wasn't like too, scary or aggressive. And I was like, who's this? I really like this. And that's how I found Chevelle. He's like, oh, it's a new band called Chevelle. You should check this out. That was before What's Next even came out. It was point number one, like their first album. Same thing with Incubus. He introduced me to Incubus. So yeah, knowing like people in your life, if you ever, I've had a lot of people show me a lot of cool stuff, but always feel free to reach out to them. When it comes to social media, same thing. Megan KC. I've actually, 2 of the bands that I found that I probably liked the most came from her. And it wasn't just because she was like, hey, you should check this out. It's because she's posting like her records, her collection. So she posted Monster Rally. I'd never heard of Monster Rally. And she posted it and I checked it out. I'm like, oh, I really like this. It's kind of like a like lo-fi hip hop, but more like, but not so hip hoppy. I don't know how to describe it. But there's not lyrics. It's just kind of music.
Yep.
It's got like both like lounge party, elements to it. And then Odyssey, who I went and saw in concert this last week, she posted one of his albums and was talking about, oh, he's such a great hip hop artist, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, I got to check this out. And yeah, sure enough. Like I've got a couple of his albums now. I really enjoy him and enough to go and see him live, So you follow people on social media because there's a good amount of artists and not just that, but records you'll find that exist and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I need that.
Absolutely. So in fact, several of our suggestions on social media, which we'll reveal in a moment, like a lot of them were like following Vinylgram people is how you discover new music. So like you follow a vinyl person on the internet, you will get a whole treasure trove of new bands. In fact, my example for this, my buddy Brad, I mentioned this just last week. He got me onto a band called The Armed, and I'm like very much obsessed with them now, to the point where like
aggressively obsessed.
I was like, I'll go on Discogs and look for all their records, and of course they're all shockingly rare. But now there's one that's like a Grail that I was like, ooh, New Grail, which New Grail is always a great feeling.
New Grail,
but it was like their album. And
New Mission.
The really fancy one came in a wood box that like they had specialty made, and they're like hundreds of dollars. So it's one of those like, well, this just became my personality, is trying to find that. So anyway,
yeah.
So it's a great way to find new people, is to social media and just talking to your friends.
Yep, that's a good one. Another one I have here is going to concerts.
We are the same person. That's my next one. Good work, dude. Good work. Yeah.
So, you go for even if you're going for a headliner, I know Waffles, I'm not like this so much anymore because I'm getting older, and I just kind of am a lazy concert goer now, where I'm just like, I'll just go for the main act. That's all I really care for. But yeah, if you want new music ideas, going and seeing the openers, generally speaking, they're in the same vein. Sometimes they're not. But usually in the same vein, because they're trying to appease a certain, type of music listener. But
absolutely
going in there, like I went to go see the Front Bottoms in San Francisco one time, and Bad Bad Hats, who aren't very popular, but they were the opener. I'm like, oh, these guys are great, and now I own a couple Bad Bad Hat records because I like them so much. Shark Speed, who I know no one's heard of because they don't exist anymore. Oh,
but you have the specialty made record. I special had
it lathe cut. I just went with some friends to a First Friday in Vegas, and they're like, yeah, there'll be live music, let's go check it out. And Shark Speed was there playing, and I love their music. I'm so sad that they're not around anymore. I think you can still find them on Bandcamp if you go. Okay. If you're interested in looking at Shark Speed, I highly recommend them.
Yeah.
They only got one album, one EP, so not a whole lot, but it's good stuff.
All the best bands only have one album, one EP, I swear. I swear.
Imagine Dragons, like before they blew up, it's kind of the same thing. It was a First Friday situation where we're just going to see them play, and yeah, there you go. It's the rest is kind of history. I Imagine Dragons are a little controversial now when it comes to
whatever,
whether or not you should like them, but it is what it is.
It is.
So I would say going to concerts. I'm sure Waffles has got plenty of examples of bands he's found from concerts.
For sure. I won't give all of them because that's hours of discussion. But like Stooge said, it is such a fun way to get into new bands. Because in my opinion, live music is where you can tell talent from no talent. Like that, I don't know if that sounds like rude or anything, but anybody can sound good. Anybody can sound good in the studio, but like live music is where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is actually interesting. This is actually showing musicianship and talent. So I love like even Stooge mentioned, I'm one of those that's like, oh yeah, show starts at 7. We will be there at 6:55. Like I don't care who else is playing because I love to check out the new bands. Just depends on how many bands are playing. I'm taking that sentence back because I've been to shows where like 7 bands play, and it's like by the sixth one, you're like, I want to go home.
This is too long.
This is too long. Just last night when I went to see Undeath, one of the bands was called Enforced, and I've never listened to them. They were phenomenal. Very, very high energy. Super fun to watch. The crowd went insane and loved it. And I was like, okay, I can freaking get behind this. And now I really like them just after, it's been 18 hours since I saw them. I think somewhere in there. And I'm already like, oh, Enforced rules. And I would not have said that 18 hours ago. So concerts are a great way to discover new music. In fact, this is a fun. Oh, wait, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna dispute a remark you made.
Go for it. Say it.
About talent versus no talent.
Ooh, okay, let's hear it.
Because I used to be very much into that camp of like, MTV ingrained it into me with the new metal versus the boy band wars.
Yeah.
And it used to be, people like Britney Spears and the Backstreet Boys. It's manufactured music. It's garbage. These other bands, Korn and Limp Bizkit, that's where the talent's at. They actually play instruments. Yeah. That's a poor example. But, there are really, when it comes to, musical talent, when it comes to playing an instrument, there are talented people over there. But I just kind of wanted to remark that, if it makes you feel good, it doesn't matter if it's garbage or if they've got no talent.
Absolutely.
If they play it and you enjoy it, that's all that matters. That was just the only remark I wanted to make.
Stooge is doing a great job making sure I don't bully people. I apologize, everybody. That is just a Waffles thing. That is just my opinion. Go like whatever you want. I literally don't care. This is where I was going with this. So from concerts, another great way to discover bands that I have found is tour posters. Because even if a band's you're not going to see them in concert, or maybe it's on the other side of the world or the other side of the country, you can look at posters and find new bands all the time. There's a band I adore now called Dreamwell that I just thought their logo looked cool because it was on a tour poster for a band called Sunflower that I really like. And so I was like, their logo is really sick. I should listen to them. And I fell in love. Like tour posters and you see them on the internet, you see them at concert venues, they're everywhere. Like it is an advertised object that has bands you can listen to. That's a very like non-conventional way of finding new music. But if you see like, oh my gosh, Taylor Swift's going on tour with how many, like 8 people? Not all, of course, not all at once, but like 8 different people are opening for Taylor Swift. You like Taylor Swift, you might like one of her openers, even if you're not going to see her live. So it's a great chance to find new people because your favorite artist will tour with, like Stooge said before, tour with artists either similar to them in music style, similar to them in energy, similar to them in lifestyle, or like their aesthetic toward music. So great way to find people.
There you go. And then the last one I have here, and then we can go into some of whatever you have left, or
I've only got a couple commented.
Mine just I'll sum it up. I broke it into 2 different things. I'll say broadcasts, whether that be radio or television. I think before streaming, I think radio was a huge impact for me finding new music. That's how I found things like Skee-Lo and No Doubt and Bone Thugs and Harmony. I heard them all for the first time on the radio. I know there's some random obscure bands to mention, but that's just because I have memories of hearing it for the first time, being like, oh, wow, this is great. So I even still to this day will sometimes just put on the radio and see what comes on. Another thing that's been really helpful for me is late night shows like SNL. Conan O'Brien used to be a huge help for me. He's no longer on TV, but I discovered Jeff the Brotherhood, and I love Jeff the Brotherhood now because they were on an episode of Conan O'Brien. They were the musical guest. It was just the 2 of them. They pulled the curtain back. I'm like, who are these 2 jabronis? You know? And then they proceeded to melt my face with their music, and I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are great. And now I've got like, I don't know, maybe close to a dozen Jeff the Brotherhood records because I enjoy their music so much. But that's just like an example. Like there's always artists, like I said, on SNL, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, whichever one you prefer, Stephen Colbert. They'll always usually have musical guests, and it's stuff you can find there that's usually pretty good. So
absolutely,
that's my last one.
I kind of miss like that era of going like getting on like MTV or Fuse TV for me is what was huge growing up. But like where there'd be like an hour of music videos. Like that was a great way to find stuff. I forgot all about that until right now. So fun. A couple more that I thought of. One, this is so lame, but this is huge for me, especially for like metal kids, like emo kids. Band shirts are humongous to find new bands because your favorite artists wear band shirts, your friends wear band shirts, people at record stores wear band shirts. And like, it's a great way to find new bands. Like even just to think a logo's cool or a shirt is cool, or just it's an interesting name. It's a great way, or like patches, anything like band merch in general, I should say, is a great way to find new bands. There's a lot of bands I love and adore that I simply just saw on someone's shirt one time and thought it was cool, or asked them about it and then went and looked it up and fell in love. There's a band I love called Portrayal of Guilt that's insanely heavy. And I was at a Sanction concert, and the singer for Sanction was wearing a Portrayal of Guilt shirt. And I just thought it was a cool name. And then here we are.
Nice.
The last one, though, also has a fun story. And this is, I guess it's not like a thing anymore because we have Spotify playlists now, but that is compilations. Back when CDs were big, you could either get like mixes or compilations from different labels or different styles or artists or whatever. That used to be my freaking thing, man. I used to get this all the time. In fact, so here's the story. You ready for this? This is the Mathcore Index sampler.
Oh, nice.
And this is how I discovered the Callous Cowboys. Fun fact.
Oh, nice.
This was a charity thing in 2019, I believe, or 2020. When there's a lot of the Black Lives Matter stuff going on, they said, we're putting together the best of volumes 1 through 5 on CD. And if you donate this, all the money's going to the NAACP. And I was like, that sounds awesome. I'm super behind that. So then I bought the CD, it shipped. And this is mathcore. We've talked about this before. Mathcore is like, the bands have ridiculous names. All of them do. I swear, all of them do. And so I just like looked at the band names, and they're all funny. And I thought the Callous Cowboys had a funny name. And that was literally the whole story. Is I was like, that's a funny name.
That's as simple as that, a lot of the time.
Exactly. They're one of my favorite bands now. They've changed my life. But like, legit, I just thought their name was funny. And you found it from a CD. So this goes back to what I was talking about before when Steven asked me, how did you get into them? Because he was expecting this whole, like, I saw them live. I was at festivals. I was like, I bought a CD and their name was funny. That's the story.
Dude, I think the bigger story here is that, do you still have a CD player?
No.
That
was literally just for the charity. Like I've never listened to the CDs here.
Oh, so you just gotta look at that and stream the music off of it.
Yeah. I'm everything wrong with music, but like, yeah.
One more story I got to share.
Sure.
It has to go back to my last one when it came to like broadcasts and TV shows. Another band that became like kind of important to, I shouldn't say kind of, it became important to me and my wife is Grizzly Bear.
Grizzly Bear.
On our honeymoon, we went and saw Conan O'Brien on the Tonight Show. Like it was before he got booted and Leno came back. So we went there, and the musical guest was Grizzly Bear, and we had never heard of Grizzly Bear, but they played the song 2 weeks, and it's a great song. And that's kind of like, I know it might sound immature or whatever, but that's like our unofficial song.
That's so cute. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another band that I might have heard because it ended up getting a lot of radio play and everything, but I hadn't heard of them until that night. And yeah, one other band, thanks to Conan O'Brien, I became aware of. So
that's sick. I love that.
Anyways, yeah.
So we mentioned this before, but we got some suggestions from our social media followers.
Oh yeah.
On different ways they discover music, because they're different than the ways we did. So I think they've got some good answers in here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we probably don't have the time to go into too much detail, but we can just like list off.
Yeah, just read them off what they say.
Yep. Yeah. So we talked about this before, but Instagram and TikTok, right? TikTok especially was surprising how many people discover music through TikTok itself. Great way to do it.
And that was Steven Beards and Breaks Down. That's who you're reading first.
I got like 5 answers about TikTok.
Oh, I got 8 here. Do you want me to tell you who said what, so we give them shout outs?
Sure, too? But I did these across my personal socials too, so I don't know who did a lot of them.
Oh, okay. You keep going. Just shout out who it is though.
I don't know who did a lot of them, is what I'm saying.
I
didn't write them down. I just wrote down their answers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you want to say who did it, go for it.
That what you just said sounds very familiar. It seems almost word for word what Steven Beards and Breakdown said.
Oh,
it said via the amazing IG and TikTok community.
See, there you go. Great way to find new music too, especially TikTok. I found a lot of great bands on there.
Yep.
Another one I thought was interesting was shared playlists, where people will like create a playlist and share it with somebody, or they can do a playlist where you all add music to it personally. And it's a great way to find new songs. Great way to find new bands.
That's Nicky No Good. That's what he says. I have different friend groups.
These are probably going in order then.
Yeah, I have different friend groups that listen to different music, so we share a lot of playlists.
See? I'm so glad I have you. You're my
Nicky No Good 315.
Bro. We love
315. You could do that, Nicky.
315.
315.
Oh my gosh, get 315 like in your unibrow tattooed. That'd be sick. Can you get a unibrow tattoo? I've never seen someone get a unibrow tattoo.
I'm sure you can, yeah.
Interesting. That would hurt like none of it.
You can get a tattoo of anything.
Yeah, you can.
Even swastikas.
Okay. It's the turn we're taking, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you wanted, I've seen it tattooed on people, believe it or not.
Do you remember classic Deadwax moment is when I said, I do all the Aryans. Ah, what a good time. That's been a solid like 10 months ago. I said that.
That was a good one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You cleaned it up a little too much since then.
Seriously. Another one is autoplay. Is that on there too? Like when you listen to Spotify, the next suggested song? Yeah.
Nobody likes grapefruit, said. Spotify has the best algorithm for this, in my opinion. I let autoplay do its thing. Almost always reliable.
Man, I really did just go in order. Yeah, so like when you listen to Spotify, and it happens on Apple Music too, I believe, where when you're done listening to a record or an album or a song and you don't have it like on repeat, it will just come up with the next thing that it suggests that's similar in some way, shape, or form.
And that's
a great way to find it.
That's what Daniel Addy said.
Oh, I love Daniel.
Daniel Laddie. I don't know if it's supposed to be that, but he said end of albums on streaming services when it switches to something similar and unheard.
Yep. Daniel's the bomb. If you're listening, Daniel, we love you. Label emails, is that on there too?
Yep. Taylor VV.
Taylor. Classic is if you like are part of a newsletter for a record label, they constantly are sending stuff about new artists. Constantly.
Yep. Vinyl community, the similar artist section. Yeah.
Yep.
Label emails. There you go.
Yep.
What else you got?
Bandcamp.
Ooh, let me see if there's a Bandcamp on here. I don't see a Bandcamp on here.
I believe Ben, our buddy Ben, wrote that one.
Ooh, yeah, then Ben. Not on here.
Bandcamp is a great way to find them because Bandcamp, that's literally the focus, is to get exposure to new artists. So if you buy something from an artist, it'll often send you suggestions for other artists you like, or you do newsletters, or if you're just on Bandcamp itself, it'll constantly give you new people.
Mm-hmm. We got Rimo. Do you have what Rimo said?
What did he say?
Rimo.vinyl said recommendations from Waffles.
I send Ryan new bands all the time, and I think he likes a third of them.
Well, that's a pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good ratio.
Let me tell you though, what's so disappointing is like, Ryan, you're gonna love this band, and he goes, next one, and it's like, oh,
next.
I thought you'd like them.
Round Sound Vinyl. He said mainly my non-mainstream music through Instagram. If enough people share it, I give it a try.
Rad.
And then McKay's Music Corner said Spotify has introduced me to several of my new favorite artists, similar in sound.
Yeah, love it.
Coolio.
A couple other ones we got. If you look for genre tags on any internet thing, you can just look for what genre you're into. That'll constantly pop up new things. And Stooge actually mentioned this before, but I got it from somebody else. Album art is a great way to listen to new music. If you just think something looks cool, you can literally judge a book by its cover. Absolutely. Go for it.
Yeah.
Especially at the record store. Record store is way fun to do that.
The front bottoms.
You'll find the front bottoms. You'll find the front bottoms and change your life.
Rocket Radio commented on our TikTok and said movies and TV shows is where he also looks for music recommendations or new music.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of great movies and TV shows that have like bomb tunes,
and that's because you think of like Stranger Things. How many people knew about? I didn't know about Running Up That Hill. I wasn't aware of that song. I knew Master of Puppets. Then you think of like that Nirvana. What's the Nirvana song with the Batman movie?
Something
that
in the
popped
way.
off. Something in the Way. I've heard that song, of course, but I think a lot of people
Batman
had
made
it.
Huge. Yep.
Yeah.
Nirvana record sales popped up again after Batman because people are like, "Oh, I like it."
Yeah. So I definitely agree with this 100%.
Yeah, me too.
Anyways,
that's my list though.
That's my list too, bro.
All kinds of great suggestions. Holy cow!
Yeah, you should be able to find plenty of new music now.
Yeah, hopefully you have ideas after listening to this.
Hopefully,
get a CD.
All right. So, are you ready to do trivia, my friend?
Babe, I am so ready for trivia. You don't understand,
honey. Let me take a swig of my water.
Ooh.
To make sure my mouth's nice and moist.
Matching Deadwax sticker on your bottle right there. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
We're so dumb.
Yep. This is not news, though.
Exactly.
All right.
This is not nudes. Yeah.
This week, there is a huge 3-day music lineup festival announced in Salt Lake City next year.
Yes.
Called the Kilby Court Block Party.
Yes, it is.
And there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
One band, though, for me, stood out amongst the rest, though. And that band is The Strokes.
Hey!
So, I figured, let's do some trivia on The Strokes this week.
This will be way fun. Okay.
Yeah. And you'll notice when we get to the second half of this, I thought it also tied in nice with our theme of where to find new music. Because if you love The Strokes like I do, the second half of this quiz is going to introduce you to some more Strokes-like music.
Dude, love it. Okay.
So
look at you son of a gun.
I know, right? I am a son of a gun.
Yeah, you freaking are.
My wife calls me a piece of shit, and you call me a son of a gun. You know, Balance. Anyways, that was a joke. She calls me.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's because you keep playing the front bottoms. Yeah.
So we've got a total of right.
Yeah.
Let me see here. There's 15 points possible.
Okay.
If you get more than 5, let's say, you'll be a reptilia. But if you get
is that how hard this is going to be?
Well, I don't. I always think you're going to get at least half of them, and you usually don't. So
yeah,
we've adjusted the curve.
Thanks, pal.
If you get less than 5, you're a room on fire, my friend.
Okay.
Here we go. Question number 1.
Okay.
For the on a scale of 1 to 5, Waffles, how confident would you say your knowledge is of the strokes?
3.5 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to start asking that from now on so we can see if it correlates to your performance.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn, I just kicked one of my records on accident.
Oh no. Is she all right?
I hope so.
Mm.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Question number 1.
Okay.
For a point.
Okay.
How many studio albums do the Strokes have?
6.
Good job. That is a point.
Look at that.
All right. How many of them can you name?
Is this it?
Yep.
Room on Fire.
Yep.
Oh shoot, what's the one the Juice Box is on?
Juice
New Abnormal. RCA, is that the name of the album or is that just the cover?
That's just a cover.
Dang it. And man, oh shoot. The one that is yellow. I can't even blanking on the names. I only got those 3.
Maybe okay. We'll see if you get this. For the longest time, I'm such an idiot and so bad at grammar and reading and the English language. I thought that album was called Angels.
Oh, Angles.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. And then the one that Juicebox is on, isn't it called like Whatever Happened? What? It's like more than one word.
Yes, it is more than one word.
It did start with what?
Nope.
Dang it. Okay. Then I'm not going to get that one. That's what
it starts with first.
Oh, First Impressions of Earth. First Impressions of Earth.
And then the other one starts with come.
Oh, so that one's just called My Friday Night. Yeah. Sorry to anybody listening. That joke was lobbed over the fence. I can't think of that one. That one's one I'm least familiar with. So
Come Down Machine.
Oh, there you go. I tried.
Hey, you got 3. It's really
hard.
You got 3. You're at 4
I got
points
3 by
now.
myself. Yeah.
You're doing great.
Okay.
All right. How many Grammys have the Strokes won?
Have they won? Are we doing noms and wins or just wins?
Just wins. I want to know how many times they have won a Grammy.
5.
Nope. I think I'm going to start doing. You get within 1, we'll count it. But you're not within 1 on this one. They have only won 1 Grammy. Believe it or not.
Really? Oh,
yep.
Lame.
Even more shocking, they have only been nominated for 1 Grammy as well.
Well, good track record, 1 for 1.
Yep. They won a Grammy for Best Rock Album of the Year. Which album was that for?
Probably for Room on Fire.
That is incorrect, my friend.
What?
It's the New Abnormal.
Oh.
Their most recent one, yeah.
Interesting.
I think the Grammys were slow to accepting
the Strokes.
Slow to accepting a lot of the the music that we like.
Which is shocking because the Strokes just were really big back in the 2000s.
Yeah, they were. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Weird.
So here we go. The members of the band. These are their names. I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
I mean, you could probably name. Julian.
I only know Julian. Yeah.
Okay. I could name 2. And it would be Julian Casablancas and Albert Hammond Jr.
Okay.
And then the other ones are Nikolai Freicher, Fabrizio Moretti.
These names are so good.
And Nick Valenci. So we got Julian, Nikolai, Albert, Fabrizio, and Nick.
Okay.
So I'm asking you this because I'm going to now read off a band name that is one of their side projects. So the band name I read off
this. Okay.
I need you to tell me which member from the Strokes is that side project a member of.
Great idea.
So first one is The Voids.
Oh, that's Julian, right?
Julian Casablancas. Yes. Correct.
I know the Voids. They're really good.
Yeah, the Voids are great. Because Julian is the lead singer, it does have very heavy stroke. The Strokes feels to it.
His voice is very distinct.
It's very unique. Yeah. So if you're looking for more Strokes, The Voids is a good place to check.
Okay.
Julian's also got a single album or two.
He
Solo.
has a couple solo albums. Yeah.
So you can check those out as well. Because once again, with Julian's voice, it's just you can't help but think of the Strokes.
Exactly.
like Billy is with freaking Smashing Pumpkins, or Rages with Zach De La Rocha. So, anyways, so yeah. All right, this next one, the band's called Little Joy.
Little Joy.
So, Nikolai, Albert, Fabrizio, or Nick?
I will say Nikolai.
That is incorrect.
Ah, dang it.
It is actually Fabrizio Moretti. I think he's the drummer. I can't remember. I should have wrote that stuff down too. But Little Joy, I actually have their album on vinyl.
Oh,
It's not like Strokes. It's more indie alternative rock sounding. Cool. But it's also got like ukulele sounds in it too. Like light guitar sound plucking, and it's really like not calming, but like just enjoyable. Like I use it on my family movies that I make every year.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's that kind of family friendly. Yeah. So that's out of all of these side projects, that's the only band that I have an actual record of and have listened to extensively. So that's the one I always recommend the most is Little Joy. If you haven't listened to them, go check out Little Joy. All right. Next one. Same theme here. Okay. Summer Moon.
Summer Moon. I'm going to say Nick.
The same one. Nikolai?
No, just regular Nick.
Oh, damn. You're wrong then. It's Nikolai.
Is it Nikolai? Dang it.
It's Nikolai. Summer Moon.
Summer Moon, Summer Night. Yeah.
Summer Moon, Summer Dawn. All right, here we go.
Okay.
So we've done Casablancas. We've done Fabrizio. We've done Nikolai.
Do they each just get one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So there's two more you can pick between. There's Albert Hammond Jr. and then there's Nick. Nick. So this band is called CRX.
CRX. That strikes me as an Albert Hammond Jr. project.
Well, you would be incorrect, my friend.
Are you kidding me? The time I don't guess Nick?
It is Nick. Nick is in CRX, and I sampled a little bit of them today, and it's really good stuff. It's got hints of the Strokes in it, so I would definitely check them out. Albert Hammond Jr. has a solo side project. He's got, and once again, I've got Little Joy on record. I've got about 2 or 3 Albert Hammond solo albums on vinyl. So these other ones I haven't yet because I still haven't explored them enough. And I've looked them up now on Discogs, and some of them can be pricey, like the colored ones. You know me, I've got to get the colored ones.
Variant Ho.
Variant Ho. So, but yeah, The Voids, Little Joy, Summer Moon, CRX, and Albert Hammond Jr. solo stuff. If you like the Strokes, go check that stuff out. It's a lot of it's in the same vein. So
that's rad,
right,
man.
Now we're getting out of that theme. We've just got 2 more left. Let's see if you can get this. I doubt you will. Julian Casablancas and Albert Hammond Jr. met while attending school in this country. This neutral country.
Switzerland.
There you go.
I'm not counting that because you had to give me the hint. But
all right, here we go.
I think it's called Switzerland.
You're at 5 already, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if we can get you to 6. I think we'll get this one.
Okay, here we go.
We'll see. The Strokes made their SNL debut, as a musical guest, in 2002 with this man as host who was promoting his film Orange County.
Jack Black?
Yes, that is correct.
How fun. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Dude, that would have been a great episode. The Strokes and Jack Black together.
Mm-hmm.
The Strokes had a ton of ties to SNL because they're like the quintessential New York band because they've been on it a million times.
I think actually it's only been like 4.
Really? And they also did the digital short with Andy Samberg for Lonely Island.
Yes.
Classic one, too.
Julian
so funny.
Did. Yeah.
So funny.
They're most recently on last year. They were with Mulaney. Mulaney was the guest.
Oh, that's right. Huh? Yeah.
I remember when they announced that show. I was just so stoked because I love Mulaney and I love the Strokes. I'm like, this show's going to be awesome.
You were stoked about that.
Yeah.
How funny is it that we've been friends now long enough that, like, I can remember when you were excited about that. I love the Strokes. The Strokes are always fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're such a fun band.
Yep. All right.
And look at that. I got more than 5.
Good job.
Won. See?
You're a reptilia.
Look at that. Best song to play on Guitar Hero 3, by the way.
Nice.
Okay. So we've avoided this for a long time, Stooge. We've used the mixtape game for a filler for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going back to Q&A. Will you give us the theme song?
Q&A. Q&A. Last segment of the show is Q&A.
Exactly. So
Still
we got a few.
It's such a jam.
Yeah, I know you killed it. We
That's
need to get
be
that
on the Deadwax.
We need to get that on the Deadwax mixtape. Exactly. So we got a few questions from our followers on social media that we would love to get out into the world. So first one, you ready for this, Stooge?
I'm ready.
By our buddy Zat Vinyl.
That's vinyl.
What song would you play if you were at a party?
A party.
A party.
Oh, I think you got to play the party rock anthem then, right? By freaking.
Oh, that's such a good answer.
What's their names? LMFAO.
LMFAO. Yeah,
dude,
that is
Teddy
such a good answer.
Loved that song. We
Does
would
he?
play that song. He would get up on the counter and start dancing and just he loved it.
He is the party rock
I have
anthem.
videos. I'll have to show you sometime.
Heck yeah, dude.
But he loved that. Like, imagine just a 3-year-old just on the counter,
Just losing it,
living his best life, rocking out. Yeah,
yeah.
he loved that. That's a good.
That is so funny.
So yeah, I think that was what I would play.
Okay, love it.
Party rock is in the house tonight.
Everybody, da, 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 da. Shake that.
That's what we got.
Song.
That's what we got to do for the Deadwax acapella album.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, well, I mean, the second installment. The first one's already been recorded. There's a song I would pick. I hate this band, but they have a song that's really catchy called Pizza. It's by the band Attila, and they play partycore music.
Attila the Nun.
Exactly. And it's literally a song about how much fun it is to eat pizza. That's it. Because when you're at a party,
sounds like a good song.
Pizza is the quintessential party food.
Pizza party is the best party.
Pizza party is the best party. Next question, though. I'm interested to hear your answers.
Question.
This is by, we mentioned before, Nikki No Good 315. Nikki, you son of a gun.
115.
Get that unibrow tattoo ready.
315.
You're given a 1-hour set at a bring your own vinyl bar. What do you play to show that you're cool?
I would play Millennium by the Backstreet Boys.
Ooh, Millennium by the Backstreet Boys. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, what's that? It's got that one where they sing in front of that plane, right? What's that
I Want It That Way.
Yes.
I want it that way. Tell me why. Yeah.
That's how to be on it too.
So good.
Yeah. I would just play that album.
My answer is actually in the same vein.
LMFAO?
I was just going to say LFO. Yeah. LFO. Oh my gosh. Summer Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's not a bad answer. Summer Girls is a great song.
It is an amazing song.
I was going to say freaking Britney Spears. Britney Spears always gets the party turned. And I
What's
am
the
cool.
one? It's Britney, bitch. Is that one you
Britney,
play?
bitch. Yeah, exactly.
How'd that go?
It's Britney, bitch.
Does Britney have like an underbite?
It's Britney. It's Sean Connery doing a Britney Spears impression. It's Britney, bitch.
It's Britney, you see? You bitch.
You gotta move the gaga. Yeah, exactly.
It's Britney,
gotta move the gaga. It's Britney, bitch. Gotta move the gaga. I love that, like, our old timey, the owner of a newspaper stand. What's up?
My hat's too far to reach. But anyways,
that's okay. I love that guy is obsessed with pop music. It just is what's funny to me.
Yeah.
The last question we got from our Q&A that is very controversial, and I'd love your opinion on. This is from our buddy Travis, Nightwalker22 on Instagram.
We might lose followers over this one.
Lose followers on this one. Mm-hmm. What is your go-to gelato or Italian ice flavor? And we've also decided to add ice cream to this. What is your go-to? What is your go-to?
I don't know if I want people knowing how extreme.
Oh no,
my views are on frozen dairy and sugar products.
No, okay, let's hear it.
So you got to remember this. I was raised in a super conservative household.
I'm so scared where this is going. That there's a story.
And just like in Footloose, they didn't want me to dance, metaphorically speaking, with my ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do, I grew up and I ended up dancing across the whole damn city and liberating that town.
Yes. Punch dance your way through the barn.
With cookies and cream ice cream.
Okay.
That's my go-to. Like, I love going to Baskin Robbins and getting a freaking Oreo shake. If I could do that every day and not get diabetes, I'd 100% would. Diabetes keeps me from doing it, because I've heard nothing good about diabetes.
Diabetes has a horrible rap.
They need to get someone from a good PR person.
PR person for diabetes. We're like
tired of walking everywhere. Have you ever thought I can see too good?
Do you want to get pulled aside at every airport you've ever been to? This is the one. That is so funny. So were you not allowed to eat ice cream growing up? What was that?
No, I was just making that all up.
Oh, you son of a gun! I was like, man, you grew up in a conservative household, but like that's like terrifying.
Yeah, my parents were like, no fascist. Ice cream.
Yeah.
And then they chain us to the bed and whip us.
I'm interested in that now, but like that sounds terrible.
Do I look like I've ever missed ice cream?
That was funny. Please go back to the chaining me to the bed and whipping me. My answer's not nearly as good. There's not even a story.
Oh, there's no fake story to go with it.
I know, seriously. Everyone, here's my answer. It's the dairy-free Netflix and chill flavor from Ben & Jerry's. There you go.
Dairy.
I know. I'm like, hey everyone, I'm lactose intolerant. I know it's frozen coconut milk. Yeah, it's bomb. I highly recommend.
My favorite ice cream is just peppermint.
Not the
peppermint ice cream, just
like
the
an actual peppermint.
Yeah.
My favorite ice cream is the ice I just put in my water. Oh.
Yep, and then you put a little sugar on it.
Dude, I knew this lady in San Diego that was like, I'll be honest, I do believe this was disordered eating, but that was her snack, was just eating ice. So she would bring a little Tupperware everywhere she went, full of cubed ice, and she would eat it with a fork. And it was like...
A fork?
Yeah. It was very like, are you okay? Because she'd be like, it fills me up. It's delicious. And I don't have to like eat other food. And it was like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be eating ice instead of food. Anyway.
I know when women get pregnant, that's a common thing they like to do is eat ice. Mm-hmm. They get a craving for the ice.
You're gonna eat the ice, and
you give them that ice, because if you don't give them that ice, oh boy,
they're
gonna take so much more. Your life. They take life to give life. They take life to give life.
They're like a Black Widow. they have to kill someone in order to eat a baby.
Imagine if that's the way it had to go.
They have to kill someone in order to have the baby. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be the ultimate conundrum? It's like,
absolutely.
Yeah, you can have sex, but then you're gonna die. That's like a guy
have you ever seen the movie
for the men?
Yeah. Same thing. You should. What a great horror movie that would be, though. Let's make it.
Okay.
Tilda Swinton's gonna be it.
Tilda Swinton, nice.
Look at my arms right now.
I can't see your arms, dude. I know. Your shoulders. Look at my feet, Waffles. Look at me with my feet.
Shut up. Shut up. Speaking of music discovery, dude. Do you know what's going to be a great way for people to discover new music? The Deadwax Weekly playlist.
Oh, yeah, that's a great way. Why didn't we plug that?
Because it'll be chock full of new songs this week. We talked a lot about the bands we like. We talked a lot about the Strokes. We've talked a lot about the side projects of the Strokes. My gosh, there'll be so much stuff that you guys will be like, sweet bananas. This is the best music I've ever heard in my life. And my new favorite band. Kick. I love Bananas. They're my new favorite band. And thanks to the Deadwax Show for introducing me to CRX.
The Voids.
Summer
Moon. And
Crowning.
Little Joy.
And a Little Joy. So if
hopefully
you want to
listen, bring you a little joy to this episode.
That was so cute. Look at you. Finally, a wholesome joke from you. Proud of you. If you want to listen to our weekly playlist, they're available on Apple Music and Spotify. We post them on our Instagram. So follow us on Instagram so you'll be able to get the links to that playlist. We are at Deadwax Show on Instagram. We're also that same handle on Twitter and TikTok. And it's a great way to be able to follow us. Stooge posted a video today. We post a lot of videos ourselves. We're kind of ridiculous, but we're kind of fun to follow too. So go follow us there. Stooge, any last thoughts before we wrap up today?
Yeah. RusticRecordsOnline.com. Go buy yourself some vinyl. Save 5% with the discount code Stooge. And then go buy yourself a delicious roast beast. So you can share with all the Who's down in Whoville.
They love the Who.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it's the holiday season, everyone. So go be nice. Go be nice to people. And that's it. Visit Rustic Records. Visit Rustic Records Go listen to our weekly playlist and be nice to each other. And also, just a quick recommendation for you guys. If you could try to get out of the groove, maybe you could then get into the Deadwax. Thanks for listening, everybody. We really appreciate it. We love you, and goodbye!